We're gonna start with my favorite, cycling. And not the kind you're thinking, the kind where you're pedaling on a bicycle. Coach Greg, and today we're going over the pros and cons of your top cardio activities. We're gonna decide what are the best and the worst forms of cardio to not only burn fat, but to keep the muscle you worked so hard to achieve. So which forms of cardio should you do and which should you avoid if you're trying to build muscle and burn fat? We're gonna start with my favorite, cycling. And not the kind you're thinking, the kind where you're pedaling on a bicycle. I love riding a bike, and its main advantage is you can go for an extended period of time without overtraining. It's easy on the joints, and it's not going to lead to overtraining. It won't be long before you're able to ride for an hour without getting sore. Although you can't burn as many calories as some other forms of cardio, it allows you to go longer, and the longer you can do an activity without getting sore, the more calories you can burn. It can become expensive to buy a bike, but there are cheap bikes available. If you're looking for a long-term exercise that you can do without tearing down your muscle, give biking a try. Running, in my opinion, the worst form of cardio you can do. So many people are running, but listen, when you run, you're placing a great eccentric load on the muscle. Makes it hard to recover. You're going to be sore, and it's going to make it harder to lift weights. If you're sore and can't lift weights, your muscles are going to get smaller. It burns a heck of a lot of calories, so if your goal is to get shredded, you don't care about having muscle, running is a great way to do that. But if you want to have a lot of muscle, best think twice about doing running. And yes, that includes both jogging, HIIT cardio, sprints, all of that. Running can make it hard to train legs and impede muscle growth, so please be cautious if you're trying to run and build muscle at the same time. Skipping. Skipping is easier on the body than running, but still going to place quite a demanding load on the legs. It's a very difficult exercise to do for a long time, so if you are doing some skipping, ease into it. Don't think you can go out there and do 30 minutes of skipping. If you do, you might not be walking the next day. So be careful, ease into it, and if you find your legs are sore, go easier than last time. Swimming. Swimming is a great overall body workout, but you have to know how to swim. If you can't swim, you're not going to be able to swim for very long. I used to be on a swim team. I was a fairly good swimmer. It was no trouble to swim for over an hour. If you're a beginner or not used to it, or if you're very lean and you can't float, swimming is very difficult, and if you swim too hard, trust me, your muscles are going to be sore. When I used to swim while being a competitive bodybuilder, found it real difficult. I'd go to swim practice, weightlift after, or weightlift and swim after. Either way, it was hard to do both. Swimming, although easier on the body than running, is not as simple to do as bike riding. So if given the choice between the three, I would choose biking every day of the week. Martial arts. Had a lot of clients who do martial arts. People are into it. It's super popular with the UFC, things like that. People love martial arts. Problem is, people are getting injured. So many people are getting injured. And if you get injured, you're not going to be able to train. You're not going to be able to do cardio the way you once did. And yes, it's absolutely a great exercise to burn calories, to stretch, to move the body, but it comes with a lot of risk. So if you are using martial arts to get in shape, be more careful than last time. Stepper. I used to love the stepper. Back in my younger days when I did triathlons and I was in really good shape, I could go on the highest level on a stepper for 20 minutes. Very easy on the body, not a lot of eccentric load. Night and day better than running. Stepper is a great choice. But be careful, the steppers that you're using are often overestimating the calories you burn. Just because it said you burned 1,000 calories in an hour doesn't mean you came close to that. Chances are you burnt 700 or less. But if you enjoy the stepper and that's an exercise that you want to do, by all means make this one of the primary sources for your cardio. Rowing. Rowing for me is so hard on my lower back, I simply can't do it. I can try to row for 10, maybe 15 minutes, and I'm sore. It hurts my lower back. If you experience lower back problems like me, you have a herniated disc or anything like that, Be careful when using rowing. However, if you're just born to row and you love it, by all means row. It's more demanding on your upper body, but it's still going to burn a lot of calories. You can row out on the lake, you can row inside the gym. Just make sure you enjoy what you're doing. Hiking or walking, basically going out for a walk or a hike in the woods. This is a great low impact, low calorie burning activity. It's not going to burn as many calories as some of the other activities, but you can do it for a long time every single day. Its main advantage is it's not going to make you sore. It's not going to lead to overtraining. This will not impede your muscle growth. Find a partner, go for a walk, find a trail, enjoy nature. This is an amazing activity, especially for the average person. You may not be fit enough to go for a run or a bike ride or swim, but you could go for a walk or a hike in the woods. So take advantage of this low impact activity and do it longer than last time. The treadmill. This one is often dreaded by so many people. When you think of cardio, you think of somebody on a treadmill. I personally love the treadmill. I like doing it. So many people hate it, and if you hate it, don't do it. Do what you enjoy. I've spent thousands of hours on the treadmill. I used to study for my exams while on the treadmill, kill two birds with one stone. Walking on the treadmill, reading, highlighting books, planning lessons, correcting, teaching exams, tests, doing everything. Very easy, low impact activity. I would suggest that rather than walking on a flat, you increase that incline to 15 degrees or even 30 when possible. The steeper the angle, the more calories you're burning at a slower pace. There's a lot less impact on the legs or strain on the knees, and you can go for a long period of time without getting sore. Aerobics. I used to be a certified aerobics instructor. It's one of the activities I enjoyed the most in my late teens and early 20s. Whether it's multi-level, stepper, Zumba, you name it, you can get a great workout while doing aerobics. Follow along with the instructor and go at your own pace. It's not going to burn as many calories as running, but it's a fun and enjoyable activity that you can do for an hour. Not only that, you can use your friends and other people in your class as motivation to keep pushing. In comparison, when you go alone, you might not be as motivated. So take advantage of an aerobics class to have more motivation to continue longer than last time. Cross-country skiing, skiing downhill, or snowboarding, grouping this all into one. This is an amazing activity, especially cross-country skiing, because you're being active the entire time. A complete, total body workout, top to bottom, legs, upper body. It is definitely a great form of exercise and can burn a tremendous number of calories. Just be careful when you're skiing down a hill. You don't want to crash, wipe out, and have a broken nose. Remember Tristan Lee when he's bleeding from the nose going down on his snowboard? And remember, just because you went snowboarding or skiing for 4 hours doesn't mean you did 4 hours of cardio. You can't count all that time you're waiting in line to get the chairlift as cardio. But certainly the downhill portion is very difficult and is going to burn a tremendous amount of calories. Just don't think that 4 hours on the hill equals 4 hours of cardio. But due to the inherent risks and dangers of downhill skiing or snowboarding, I must caution you that if you want to keep your muscle, you better go easy on this one. Skating and or rollerblading. Great activity, very comparable to bike riding. This is going to target the legs and glutes, which is most often desired by women, especially today. Doesn't mean it's not good for the men, but especially the ladies who are looking to develop legs and glutes, this is a great activity for you to do as your sole form of cardio. The cons, you need the rollerblades, you need the roads, or you need the ice. But if given the chance or the opportunity, get out there and give skating or rollerblading a try. Body pump. This is where you're in an aerobics class while lifting weights. You're using weights to do various exercises while doing cardio. This is a great activity if you are not actually lifting weights. If you're already lifting weights, you don't want to add body pump as it simply can lead to overtraining of the muscle. You've already been doing your squats and your bench press and your deadlifts. There's no reason to add cardio and do these again. But if you don't lift weights, this is a great way to both build muscle, burn fat, and improve your heart function all at the same time. And last but not least, sports, and all sports in general. Badminton, soccer, basketball, football, badminton, all of this. This is what you need to know. Just because you're doing it for an hour doesn't mean you're doing an hour of cardio. Please do not overestimate the amount of activity you're getting while playing that sport. Yeah, you played 3 hours of softball, you might have burned off 100 calories because all you're doing is sitting on the bench or standing in the outfield waiting for someone to hit the ball to you. Or in comparison, you're a high-level soccer player and you're running and sprinting the entire time. Big difference. So please figure out how much movement are you doing. Are you actually being active? You played 2 hours of tennis, but how much moving did you actually do? You played badminton, but all you did was stand there and do this. It's going to depend on the person and how skilled you are at the activity and your opponent. Sometimes you're burning more calories than other times, but for the most part, people are dramatically overestimating how much activity they're doing and how many calories they're burning while playing sports. I love to see people playing sports and being active, doing what they love, but don't think that just because you're playing tennis that you're going to be a physical specimen. You need to do 150 minutes of moderately intense activity per week. And just because you played 150 minutes of tennis doesn't mean you meet the minimum requirement. Ending it here. GregDoucette.com for coaching. Greg Doucette IB Pro. The bloops are there. Watch one. Follow me on the gram, the talk. Buy my freaking cookbook. Subscribe. Click the bell button. If you're still here, subscribe. Subscribe and click the bell button. Subscribe and click the bell button. And until next time, I am out.